Folks, what we're tracking right now is truly extraordinary, something that meteorologists and residents alike are calling a once-in-a-generation event. The weather patterns we're seeing are not just unusual, they're rewriting the record books and catching even the most seasoned experts by surprise. An unseasonably early blast of Arctic air is plunging deep into the southern United States, sending temperatures tumbling far below what anyone would expect for this time of year. This isn't your typical autumn chill, this is a full-on winter invasion weeks ahead of schedule. Today is September 20th, 2025, and a historic freeze warning is in effect across a huge swath of the South. Something we'd expect in the heart of winter, not while leaves are still on the trees and summer memories are fresh in our minds. For many, this is the earliest they've ever seen such a warning. This isn't just a cool spell, it's a bone-chilling event that's catching millions off guard. People are waking up to frost on their windshields, bundling up in heavy coats they haven't touched in months, and scrambling to protect their homes and families from the sudden cold. A massive dome of high pressure originating from the far north is pushing frigid temperatures into regions that are far more accustomed to sunshine and warmth. This system is so powerful that it's overwhelming the usual southern heat, creating a dramatic and rapid shift in the weather. For many communities, this will be the earliest freeze on record, shattering previous marks by weeks. Local newspapers are already running headlines about the unprecedented cold, and people are sharing stories of never having seen ice this early in the year. The impact is far-reaching, farmers are rushing to protect vulnerable crops, pet owners are bringing animals indoors, and local officials are activating emergency plans to help those most at risk. Schools and businesses are issuing advisories and communities are coming together to check on neighbors, especially the elderly and those without adequate heating. The South's infrastructure and mindset simply aren't built for this kind of cold. Pipes are at risk of freezing, roads could become dangerously slick, and many homes lack the insulation needed to keep out such frigid air. For many, this is a wake-up call about the power of nature and the importance of being prepared. The rapid temperature drop, up to 40 degrees in just a matter of hours, means there's little time to prepare. One moment it's a mild autumn day, the next, it feels like the dead of winter. This kind of swift change can catch even the most vigilant off guard. That's why we're urging everyone to take this warning seriously. Don't assume you'll have time to react later, start preparing now. Check your heating systems, insulate exposed pipes, and make sure you have enough supplies to last through the cold snap. Over the next sections, we'll break down exactly who's affected, what you can expect in the coming days, and most importantly, how to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your home from the dangers of this historic freeze. We'll cover everything from emergency kits to tips for keeping your pets safe. This is not the time for complacency. Preparation is absolutely key. Stock up on groceries, check your emergency supplies, and make sure you have a plan in place for power outages or other disruptions. The cold is coming and it demands our respect. Stay tuned, stay safe, and remember, a little preparation now can make all the difference when the temperature drops. Let's look at the map. The scope of this Arctic outbreak is immense. This isn't just a typical cold front, it's a massive Arctic air mass pushing its way deep into the southeastern United States. The cold air is moving southward, bringing with it temperatures that are far below normal for this time of year. The impact will be felt across a vast area, affecting millions of people. Freeze warnings stretch from Texas to the Carolinas, impacting millions. These warnings are not to be taken lightly, as the cold can cause significant disruptions to daily life. Roads may become icy and dangerous, and power outages are a real possibility as the demand for heating increases. States under alert: Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Each of these states is preparing for the worst, with emergency services on high alert and residents being urged to take precautions. Major cities like Dallas, New Orleans, Atlanta, and Charlotte are bracing for record cold. These urban areas, which are not accustomed to such extreme temperatures, are taking steps to protect their infrastructure and residents. Dallas, built for heat, now faces a deep freeze. New Orleans, more worried about water than ice, must protect homes from freezing pipes. Residents are being advised to wrap their pipes and take other measures to prevent damage from the cold. Atlanta's hills and Charlotte's new residents face unique challenges. The hilly terrain in Atlanta can make driving treacherous, while Charlotte's growing population includes many who are not familiar with such cold weather. This is not a typical cold front, it's an Arctic invasion. The cold air is so intense that it will feel like a different world for many in the south, where winters are usually mild. Warnings are urgent advisories, not suggestions. It's crucial to heed these warnings and take action to protect yourself and your family. Stay informed by keeping an eye on weather updates and alerts. The cold is arriving now, transforming the region. As temperatures plummet, the landscape will change dramatically, with frost and ice covering everything in sight. Pay close attention to local forecasts and officials. They will provide the most up-to-date information on the situation and any necessary actions you should take. Know you're in the path of a historic event. Preparation starts with awareness. Make sure you have the supplies you need and a plan in place to stay safe during this unprecedented cold snap. What will this freeze feel like? Let's break it down. Temperatures, wind chill, and ice. Air temperatures will drop into the low 20s and teens, unheard of for September in cities like Atlanta and Dallas. Strong winds will drive wind chills into the single digits, increasing the risk of frostbite and hypothermia. The wind also strains buildings and power lines. In northern Georgia and the Carolinas, cold air may meet moisture, creating freezing rain or sleet. Even a thin layer of ice can make roads impassable and bring down power lines. The combination of record lows, brutal wind chills, and potential ice creates a multifaceted threat. Understanding these elements is the first step to staying safe. A freeze of this magnitude can grind southern life to a halt. Roads and bridges become treacherous, with limited resources to treat them. Even a light glaze of ice can cause chaos. Expect accidents, closures, and delays. Schools and businesses will likely close, not just for safety, but to conserve energy. The economic impact will be significant as the region shuts down. Simple tasks become hazardous, especially for the vulnerable. Community centers and shelters will work overtime to provide warmth. The ripple effects remind us how dependent we are on normal weather. The best way to navigate this disruption: plan ahead, stay informed, and be ready to stay home. Preparation is your best defense. The power grid will be under immense strain as millions turn up the heat. If demand outpaces supply, rolling blackouts may occur, even without storm damage. Ice and wind can snap power lines and bring down utility poles, causing widespread outages. Losing power during a deep freeze is life-threatening. No heat, no lights, no way to cook or charge devices. Hypothermia becomes a real risk, especially for the elderly and young children. Prepare now. Have blankets, warm clothing, non-perishable food, flashlights, and a battery-powered radio. Know how to stay warm without electricity. The stability of the grid is fragile. Don't take it for granted. Preparing for an outage is smart and responsible. Your safety depends on it. Frozen pipes are a costly problem when temperatures drop. Water expands as it freezes, and a burst pipe can cause catastrophic flooding once it thaws. Protect pipes in unheated areas, attics, crawl spaces, and exterior walls by wrapping them with insulation or towels. Disconnect and drain outdoor hoses and open outside spigots after shutting off indoor valves. Let faucets drip during the coldest hours to keep water moving and relieve pressure. Know where your main water shutoff valve is. If a pipe bursts, shut off water immediately. Take a few minutes to locate and test the valve before the freeze. Prevention is far cheaper than repairs. Protecting your home from the cold is a top priority. A few simple steps can save you thousands. When a rare southern freeze hits, the most dangerous place to be is often out on the road. Unlike regions that regularly deal with snow and ice, southern roads and drivers are rarely prepared for these conditions. Even a thin layer of ice can turn a familiar street into a hazardous obstacle course, catching drivers off guard and leading to accidents in the blink of an eye. One of the biggest threats is black ice. This nearly invisible layer forms when moisture freezes on the pavement, making it look just like wet asphalt. Drivers often don't realize it's there until their tires lose traction, sending vehicles sliding uncontrollably. Black ice is especially common on shaded roads, bridges, and overpasses. If you don't absolutely have to drive, the safest choice is to stay home. Watching the snow or ice from your window is far better than risking a dangerous journey. Many accidents happen simply because people underestimate how treacherous the roads can become during a freeze. Bridges and overpasses are particularly risky. They freeze before the rest of the road because cold air circulates above and below them, causing ice to form quickly. Even if the main road looks clear, always assume these elevated surfaces are icy, and approach them with extreme caution. If you must drive, slow down significantly. Increase your following distance to give yourself more time to react. Avoid using cruise control, as it can make it harder to regain control if you start to slide. Brake gently to prevent skidding and steer smoothly. Sudden movements can cause you to lose control. Before heading out, make sure your car is ready for winter conditions. Check your tire pressure, as cold weather can cause it to drop, reducing traction. Use freeze-rated washer fluid to keep your windshield clear, and make sure your wipers are in good condition. Always pack an emergency kit in your vehicle. Include blankets and warm clothing in case you get stranded and need to stay warm while waiting for help. It's also wise to have a hat and gloves, as well as extra socks. Don't forget a flashlight with extra batteries, bottled water, and high-energy snacks. These simple supplies can make a huge difference if you're stuck for hours or overnight. A phone charger and a basic first aid kit are also smart additions. If you do become stranded, stay with your vehicle. Your car provides shelter and makes it easier for rescuers to find you. Use your emergency supplies to stay warm and hydrated until help arrives. These preparations can truly save your life. Most southern drivers have little to no experience driving on ice, which increases the risk for everyone on the road. Even if you feel confident, remember that others may not know how to handle these conditions. If you can, avoid driving altogether until the roads are safe. Safety on the road starts long before you turn the key. Take time to prepare your car, plan your route, and check weather updates. Being cautious and ready can make all the difference when facing icy dangers. Ultimately, the best decision during a southern freeze is to stay put. Don't risk your safety or the safety of others. Wait until conditions improve before venturing out. Your life is worth more than any errand or appointment. Your top priority is keeping yourself and your family warm and safe. Dress in layers, base, insulation, and windproof outer layer. Protect extremities with hats, gloves, and thick socks. Stay hydrated and eat warm, high-calorie foods. Check on neighbors, especially the elderly or those with medical needs. Share information about warming centers if needed. Use space heaters safely. Keep them away from flammable items. Never use a gas stove or oven for heat. Ensure smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are working. Simple precautions can prevent tragedy. This Arctic blast is a wake-up call. No region is immune to extreme weather. The South must be prepared for all types of weather, not just heat. Preparation is the difference between inconvenience and disaster. Emergency kits, pipe insulation, and outage plans are essential. This event should motivate us to build a culture of readiness and invest in resilient infrastructure. Our systems are built for warmth, but we must adapt. Weather connects us all, millions are affected, and communities are tested. Let's get through this by looking out for each other and respecting the cold. Be aware, be prepared, and always respect the power of the storm.